Okay, here we go. We are live. Hey everyone, welcome to Avatar Guys channel, or if you're watching through Discovering Pandora, also welcome to Discovering Pandora as well. Today is Avatar Day, the 21st of August, 2024. It's the first Avatar Day that we've celebrated like this, but it isn't the first Avatar Day. The first Avatar Day was back in 2009 when James Cameron showed 16 minutes of footage to everyone. I've got a lot of really cool people with me today, and I'm gonna kind of like just introduce them. Let me get us all onto the thing. There we go. There we go.
Hello.
Hey everyone.
Hello.
So we have me, Avatar Guy, also known as T-Race, and Ashen, who's the other half of Avatar Guys. And we have Clee, who you all know as our like great French
Venture star.
Yeah, we have Anamanesis. We have Robin. We have Discovering Pandora. I'll let them both introduce themselves in 1 second because we also have Bailey, who is also just joined.
Hi, Bailey.
Who is better known as Becoming Navi on Instagram.
What's up?
Hey. So I was just introducing everyone and telling everyone what Avatar Day was. But no, I'll let Robin also introduce herself first.
Yeah, so I make Avatar videos on TikTok mostly, but I've recently started to do a little bit of YouTube as well. So, and I'm Avatar Robin on TikTok.
Yeah, please, if you aren't already following all of these people, you should be. And then Discovering Pandora.
Hi, I'm Jerry, or otherwise Discovering Pandora. Make YouTube videos, and then on the socials like Twitter and Instagram.
Cool. And Bailey.
Hi guys, I'm Bailey. I like to make myself blue in my free time. I go by Becoming Navi because, you know, that's what we do over in my Instagram. I tried TikTok. Oh my God, I don't know what to do on there, but like, I'm there.
Yeah, it's a weird app.
I'm so bad at videos.
My main platform is weird.
I literally, you know, guys, I literally just know how to edit photos and like digitally paint. That's my jam. So I started off making people into avatars. That's hence the name. And fun fact, I'm going to get back into that. Commission reopening pending.
That's great news. That is great news.
Dropping the announcement bombs.
You heard it here first.
I mean, one of my favorite things about some of your images is that some of them you literally can't tell like that you've put yourself into them.
Yeah.
I know. No, so funny you say that. I literally just got a comment today. This girl is so sweet. She's like, someone help. I literally don't see the difference. And I'm like, oh girl, keep swiping and you'll see the original photo. She's like, oh my God, you added yourself in. I'm like, yep, I did.
Yeah. So I mean, let me show this the big Avatar Day. So yeah, so again, if people didn't realize that, so in 2009, Jim showed everyone, because obviously Avatar comes out in December of 2009, but on the 21st of August, they showed 16 minutes of footage from Avatar to everyone, and that they called that Avatar Day. And so there was, I think, Jeff, who runs a podcast and is also like one of the Avatar fans on Twitter. He put out a message saying, basically, why isn't there an Avatar Day? If there's an Alien Day, there's Star Wars Day, there's all these kind of days dedicated to these big science fiction franchises. There should also be an Avatar Day. And James Cameron Online, who they're really dedicated to James Cameron, they were like jumped in and said, yeah, we should as well. And so the kind of idea was that this would be a day where all the fans kind of come together and they do things that celebrate like Avatar and I guess the messages of the movies. So on the Discord, we had a competition that we forgot about, but we did encourage everyone to go out into nature. So it was supposed to be a competition, but I didn't put in the effort to actually make it work.
Was the master plan, man. We just wanted people to touch grass. Mission accomplished.
We wanted people to touch grass. And then,
I went and saw the floating mountains. So I don't know about you guys.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I went.
Oh my God.
I just want to say too that I remember that day in August of 2009. I went to that screening. It was a one-time screening, and it blew my mind. It changed my life.
Wow.
Nobody had ever seen anything like that. I remember it distinctly.
Wait, you went to the original one in 2009?
Yeah, in Chicago.
Wow, nice. Nice.
Would you remember what it was? What did they show? What was in the 16
Oh,
minute?
it was just clips of certain scenes, like Jake waking up in his avatar for the first time, and just showing off all the 3D effects, running around in the jungle. I don't think they ever aired that footage again anywhere else. But
it was like the Thanator chase as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If T-Pace doesn't know what's in it, it's probably never been aired.
Oh, and the
Yeah, I was-
Ekron flight as well was in there too. It was kind of like all the greatest hits from the Pandora footage was in
Makes
there.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very memorable day to go and see that footage early
Oh yeah.
at a one-time event.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, I would love to have seen it, but I'm glad that it obviously worked, considering how much Avatar made. It drummed up the hype.
The thing
Right.
was, they kept it such a tightly knit secret. No, they showed no pictures or footage to anybody. So when they actually screened that footage, everyone was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, and it was the first thing that James Cameron had done since Titanic. So I guess I remember it. I remember the hype that was built from that. It was people were going crazy, you know. I mean,
it was also the first day that they showed the merchandise and the trailer for the upcoming game. It was all on that same day, so it was pretty cool marketing, you know.
Yeah.
I think to John Landau, it was his idea mostly, right?
Yeah. I mean, so really interestingly, actually, on this topic, so I like email a bunch of people, you know, like asking a lot of them random questions, and I'd be interested to hear if like Discovering Pandora or anyone else has heard this. But one of the people who worked on the True Cut motion effects, you know, like the motion effects that for the higher frame rates, they were messaging me saying that they think they don't have it confirmed, but they think that a huge reason why the delay happened was because John Landau became ill, and that he did so much for the movies that basically it just became really difficult to keep. They realized it was going to think, because this is the thing, everyone people know that John Landau is the producer, but it feels like it's almost underselling it to say that he's just a producer, given that he was Jim's right hand man. And I feel like, at least for like, you know, the casual movie going audience, they saw that he died knowing he was a producer, but they didn't truly understand just how like massive and monumental he's been for Avatar and Avatar fans, you know.
Yeah, and like with behind the scenes, like Avatar, like that 95, this is no like actual metric, but like 95% of this franchise is so in-depthly behind the scenes. Like you can't even imagine how much work John was doing, and like we do get some clips and like the BTS things that they like share with us, and like they're a part of every single process. They are like going to all the different studios, doing all the different like artwork like gatherings, and then like the mocap, and then the post-production, like you said, we don't know like everything that goes into it too.
Right. And John was
such a champion as well. With him, you can tell he's really there on the set constantly.
Oh yeah, the picture of him when he's dressed up as Spider.
Yeah, like, you can tell they're close to him.
Yeah. Like for me, the thing that I really loved was when he started doing those Instagrams where he like spotlights someone who's been working on the movies. Yeah. Oh yeah, Bailey, I think she's navified some of those people too. Yeah.
Yeah, because
I
that's where John is like my source. Like his posts are like my source to like finding like all these like little different people. Like because I created this like cast and crew series like a year or two ago now, slowly working on it still, but like it's really just like give credit to all these incredible people, and like you can see through these posts that he shares, they're from all over the world. They're doing so many different things, and it's just truly incredible. It's a whole like world of people going into Avatar, and I just love how he like brought that attention on his Instagram to these
I remember seeing an interview recently with Simon Franklin, the composer, and he stated that there were 2,300 people total in the production. And everybody says behind the scenes, John Landau would stop and talk to everybody. Can you imagine connecting with 2,000 different crew and getting to know them and having everybody like you that much? I couldn't even handle 200. John handled thousands.
He left a legacy. Sure.
Yeah, I hope I feel like this is why like stuff like things like this are so important, because he was such a champion of like the messages of the films. So Ashton and I always joke about when they were doing the press junket that John always kept really strictly to the kind of core, you know, themes. Like he talks about the family, the big heart of the movies, about like the kind of the nature, the love of nature, and how
the eyes are the window to the soul. That one.
Yeah, the eyes are the windows to the soul. Like a part of me, like when I saw when the announcement happened for Avatar: Fire and Ash, I felt sad that it wasn't him on the stage giving it, because it felt like it should have been.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see who kind of steps into that role, if anyone can, because I don't feel like Jim's the most obvious answer, but he's also extremely busy with doing what he's doing already.
Simon, speaking of Simon, he gave another great metaphor. He stated that if Jim is like the engine behind Avatar, John was like the motor oil. He kept everything lubricated and running. And I agree. I don't know. You might need 2 or 3 people to step in and handle all that instead of just
definitely
one kingpin.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not something to be replaced either, but something to be honored.
He was basically the face of it. Like we all know, you know, obviously the James Cameron of it all. But if you really think about it, he was the one you saw everywhere. It didn't matter. He was the one traveling the world, you know, a little screening in Spain of Avatar: The Way of Water. He was there. You know, the majority of the behind the scenes shots of them building Pandora, the world of Avatar. He's right there front and center, you know, and some of them James is there, but I mean, you know what he's doing, you know, he's doing the main thing, but he was like the face of it all. So it's going to be weird now not seeing that guy in the featurettes and all these, you know, live events. So, yeah.
I guess at least with the release of like 3, I'm sure, because I think a lot of people noticed a lot of the background footage. You could tell that they didn't include as much as they possibly could, because so much of 2 and 3 was shot together. I feel like when we get 3 and we get the collector's edition, I'm almost certain we'll get so much more of John and all of the kind of, they'll unleash. It'll be like Lord of the Rings on steroids, you know, with the background footage from that. I feel like they've probably got like 20 plus hours of footage that they can show when they finally put 3 out. I feel like that. Actually, someone in the chat said Maria Battle Campbell as a kind of person that could potentially also take up the mantle, because like she is, I think, is she the first unit director on Avatar and Avatar 2? But I feel like there's more people that could like definitely step up, or actually even the actors themselves. Like you guys have all seen what like Bailey Bass has been like doing, you know, like with her environmental stuff. It feels like those like the younger like generation, they definitely all seem pretty behind the message of the movies, and definitely what they had obviously a massive respect for John. So I could totally also see them like stepping in and pushing that. I think that would be really nice to see
as well.
Yeah. So I guess the thing so Avatar Day, I feel like it's something that we want to encourage everyone to like love the themes of the movies and remember that Avatar is also on Earth. That's like, I feel like they don't hammer that message hard enough to everyone. Like, am I crazy? Like, I wish they would push it harder. Yeah. Like maybe it's up to us to push that more. Like maybe that's the thing that I don't know. Like Jim and co really do actually want us to do.
I think people get it.
I think they get it, but I don't know.
No. I see what you're saying. I think with recently, like the second movie too, like just the whole captivation of like the alienness and like just the beauty of Pandora. Like we can so easily get sucked into that. It's like gateway drug kind of vibes. But like I do remember like official Avatar Instagram year or 2 ago, like they pushed out this hashtag like Pandora on Earth, and for a little while they were doing like content circulating this hashtag and stuff. And like I know how like sometimes they share the hashtag Navi Nation creation. Love that, by the way. I would love to see them bring back more of the hashtag Pandora on Earth content and like just bring that into life more, because like so true. Like it's just that connection, that just like immediate connection of like Pandora, like Earth is our Pandora. It is our home.
But actually applying that mentality as well.
100%.
Integrate.
Sarah said in the comments, find Pandora in your own backyard.
Yeah,
literally.
It's true.
That's what this is all about.
Because basically it seems so alien, but if you really think about it, It's just our Earth just turned up to 11. Like everything we see, the forests, the oceans, everything you see, the creatures, it like he says it, I think, in some of the behind the scenes, it's just turned up to 11. So, but you can find this stuff in Earth, on Earth. Yeah. So it's just appreciating that as well.
Yeah, nothing's really alien in that movie. That's why it resonates with us.
Some of the creatures in the ocean documentaries look more alien than some of the things on Pandora. Like that big glowing jellyfish.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, like those deep sea creatures who have looks like 12 eyes or something. Yeah. Totally.
That's one of the things that drives me so crazy when I see all this conversation, particularly from people like Elon Musk about leaving Earth and colonizing other planets. I'm like, dude, we got plenty to take care of here. Let's take care of this first before you go worrying about other planets.
Yeah.
I feel like me and Cleo would
I don't get me started on that, but
I was gonna say
there's plenty to do in space to help Earth, not Mars is a pipe dream.
There's a very interesting story about that. In that, if people don't know it, so Elon Musk there's a really big society called the Mars Society in, I think, California, and Elon Musk bid to get us. This was 20 years ago. Elon Musk bid to get to have a dinner at the Mars Society, and he sat next to James Cameron at this dinner.
Oh, really?
And, yeah, and Jim used to be a huge proponent for the colonization of Mars. You can find interviews of him for all the Mars Society talking about why we need to colonize other planets. But again, this is from 20 years ago. And then he basically sent an email maybe 5 or 6 years, I think probably after Avatar, saying we sort of need to be focusing, he's all for space exploration and everything like that, but his own individual personal efforts were no longer on becoming going to a different planet, but trying to improve the planet that we already have, which I always thought was a really kind of interesting and good shift. Although I think I'm too much of a geek in sci-fi. I want to see us land on Mars,
Right.
Yeah,
Landing is one thing. Living there is another.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's why the RDA is going to figure out how to do permanent colonization on every single planet, right?
Yeah.
They'll just change the atmosphere.
That's why they're so interested in Pandora. Because Mars-like planets, they kind of suck.
I mean, Weyland Yutani did the same thing. They put an atmosphere processor so that they could go and set up and breathe there, right?
And how did that work out for them?
Adios, muchachos.
Oh God.
So it's game over, man.
So what does I don't want to talk. I don't want me to try and hug it. What does everyone else feel like is the big messages that they've seen on Avatar Day, or what do they feel like people should be talking about when they're thinking about Avatar?
Definitely applying that mentality from the movies in their daily life, I think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm not ashamed to. I mean, you guys all know that the franchise gets a little, not hate, but if you bring up, oh yeah, I like Avatar, they're like, oh, that movie with the blue aliens. I'm like, yeah, the movie with the blue aliens, and I love it, and I'm not ashamed about it.
Just wait until we.
I don't care what you say. That movie's awesome. And I'm
the blue aliens are cool. I don't care.
It's the pride of Avatar. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
turn it around.
You guys just mean Pocahontas in space, right?
I always my thing to that. I always say Avatar wasn't in space. Are you thinking of a different movie?
Pocahontas is just Dancing with Wolves in America, right?
I don't think most of the people who say that have even seen Dances with Wolves.
No, I don't think so either. I don't think they've seen any of the movies that they claim is in those.
I didn't even know. I didn't even know Fern Gully was a movie until they kept saying it.
Oh, I know.
Hasn't anyone seen The Emerald Forest or Polynesian Ha, Breath of Life?
No.
I could list 12 other movies besides.
Dances
with Wolves. I mean, James Cameron
I heard it's just Avatar.
Movie. It's always the same love story.
I say this about it multiple times. Avatar invented the phrase cultural impact. People didn't talk about cultural impact before Avatar came out, right? It literally no one talks about it. The people invented cultural impact to talk about Avatar. That is itself cultural impact, right? It's I always bring that up to people, and people criticize those movies that are already copies. Lion King is just a copy of Hamlet, but with
there's nothing wrong with that. Titanic is just Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, It's so weird.
Star Wars, Hidden Fortress.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
And in regard to cultural impact, they're mostly referencing old material, comic movies that are from the 60s, 70s, 80s that are just being regurgitated today. So if you're talking about cultural impact, what era are we talking about? Because Avatar came along all on its own and established its own culture.
Right.
It's
right.
not.
I think.
It's not drawing upon something else.
I think what happened was they were upset their favorite Marvel movie wasn't like the biggest, so they just come out and say
it's because it's a big franchise that
the
doesn't.
only thing they could think of, right? Is
Infinity Wars from the 60s.
Doesn't have enough memes.
So
So
non-nerds can watch Avatar, whereas
if-
non-nerds tend not to watch Marvel. That's
if
why
every-
it irks nerds.
if anyone else is excited for this, though, is that I'm quite excited about the fact that we've got Avatar coming out, and then within the same 6 months, there's going to be an Avengers movie. So the Avatar versus Marvel war is going to happen all over again.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
It's going to be.
They're going to get destroyed.
It's going to be. I'm hoping. Like,
But
if
guess what? Marvel's not at their peak, you guys. I'm sorry.
They fell off, right? They fell off.
Our peak is yet to come.
Yeah, I mean, again, so that's a really good segue into talking about what's to come. So actually, if I jump over to here, bang, we have this little announcement that was recently made. How's everyone feeling about it?
Excited.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, it's something that I talked in the last stream that I had. We were like, it's giving that harder edge that a lot of people say Avatar doesn't have. It just automatically, you see that, you're like, that looks badass. Yeah. And honestly, that is something I do agree with, that for people that don't watch it, they just kind of like, they see it, maybe see a trailer or something, and they're not really, focusing on the themes and all that. Right off the bat, nothing really screams badass if, unless you really watch it and everything. But this does. And I do feel like the franchise, is going to benefit from now having that harder edge. So I'm really excited.
It's a nice contrast for sure.
Yeah.
And it's a contrast that I was waiting for you to comment on, Avatar Guy, because I think, how do I say this? Terminator 1 had a blue logo. Terminator 2 switched to a red theme. I think that Avatar 3 is the real Avatar 2. You got the contrast of blue and red, which is a Jim staple, that color palette, and that transition over to the red and the fire, which is very thematic in his films.
I mean,
I think it's going to be emphasized even more.
It's the second half of Avatar 2, right? That's the thing.
Yeah.
I was going to say they were supposed to be one story, right?
Yeah,
right,
I'm teasing. I feel like it's one big story.
The movie really
it's like the real
in.
Avatar 2. The one that we've really been waiting for. I was talking to Avatar Guy about Alien Romulus as well. I feel like it's the first real Alien sequel we've had for 40 years. I feel like this is going to be the real Avatar sequel we've all been waiting for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel
Definitely.
like just the amount of lore drops we're about to get in this film, I am so pumped for. I'm so pumped. There was that, quote, like, Varang is going to be the character you love to hate or something.
Yeah.
I'm ready for that. I am ready for that, like, morally gray. I am ready for that, like,
the layers and the characters and
the layers, like, it's gonna come through.
Yeah.
With fire's messy. Zoe was saying it in her interview, like, it's messy. You got all the different sides, all the different themes within fire, the rebirth, the renewal, but also the destruction and devastation, the anger, like, so much emotion. I feel like is gonna come through, and I'm so excited.
So someone pointed out, actually. Oh, sorry, go on.
Yeah, I was about to say the thing with cutting off of the Kuru. That's gonna be like an almost body horror thing.
Yeah, we're gonna get to some of the concept art. We're gonna jump to it.
Yeah.
But someone, so I was gonna say that someone on the Keller Trial server, which is one of the Discord servers where you can learn Na'vi. One of the artists there was talking about complementary colors and how this, like orange and blue, if you actually invert the colors of this logo, the red becomes like the blue of A2.
Oh.
Yeah.
Someone do it.
Bailey's on this right now. She's like, yeah.
I'm like eyeing it. I'm like, that's sick. someone make it a GIF or something.
Yeah. Like I don't know what it is. Like it was far back, but basically, they use basically the orangey red of the A logo right now is the complementary color of the blue of the Fire and Ash. Because actually, so do we all think, right? So this question: do we think that this is going to be the final like logo in terms of the wording? Because it seems a bit A2-y for me, you know.
I don't think. My bet. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. That's my.
No,
my
me
gut.
neither. They might play around with the logo.
Does anyone remember the first Avatar 2 logos? I think that will.
Vaguely.
Was it like this?
I think they were pretty similar to the end one.
But I don't know the colors. I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, we gotta bring in the graphic designer lens here.
Ryan Gosling's mate, yeah.
Yeah, we gotta bring that in. Oh my god. Side note, I can't wait to see what they do with this. You know, they have to do like a third spin-off. But I do think the like background image, like that A is like a produced A. Like that is red. They have the flames integrated with it. Because as we see, right, this avatar, I don't think they have that water overlay on this one, but it obviously is that like top layer of the underwater with the lights hitting it in the deeper depths.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I think like this is just for the announcement that back A was like that was the announcement, and this is like their maybe quick fix. But I do think that they're gonna come back with something with like actually like a fully red design.
No, I agree with Bailey here. I think it doesn't look 100% finished.
That's not going to be a big A on the poster.
On all packaging.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they were.
Ikran too. They'll switch it to the new Ikran that Bahrain's riding on.
Yeah.
The thing I heard was that they weren't even going to announce the title at D23. They felt it was too early, and that basically they were gonna wait a little bit longer. But I think because James Cameron was going to be what's it called, the Disney legend, and maybe because John passed away,
they rushed it.
Maybe, yeah, they pushed. They wanted.
It might be a little bit of.
Yeah, and also we've been so starved of content for so long.
Yeah, I think they'll change the subtitle to be more of a fiery theme. Like if you watch the trailers, the old trailers for Way of Water, it had a very watery theme. I think the Fire and Ash will be a smoky, fiery lettering. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and what does everyone think of the title?
I mean, it's to the point.
Catchy.
Yeah.
Straight to the point.
My shock was that it didn't begin with the T or an A, but then I remembered that Terminator 2 is called Judgment Day. So even though all of James Cameron's movies begin with an A or a T, their subtitles don't have to follow that rule.
Well, T2's the only other one that has a subtitle, right?
Right. Well, no, because Way of Water.
Yeah.
You know, was a T. I wondered if he was going to stick with it.
So, what if it was a coincidence all along? In your theory,
it's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence.
Okay, sorry. No, I didn't mean it.
it. By the way, that's not one of my theories. That's a fact. Like James Cameron said that it's why they called Alita Battle Angel. They called it Alita Battle Angel, not Battle Angel Alita, because he said he couldn't make the movie if it began with a B. There's a little bit of
right.
trivia for you. That he's got this weird thing about he wants them to be A's or T's.
Well, technically, this starts with an A.
Yeah, it's staying the same. It's still A, yeah.
See, and people say Jim doesn't have a sense of humor.
I wish that he'd called it Avatar 3. He just gone, you know what, we'll just call it Avatar 3. I think that would have been really funny. He just goes,
these days they don't put numbers after sequels anymore. They just use subtitles.
No, they don't. Yeah. It's a weird trend. Do we want to jump and look at some of the concept art?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we have, I think this is the kind of most striking, right? By the way, I need to give a shout out to Pandoran Vault on Twitter. He's the one who straightened and edited these to make them a little bit more visible. And if you don't follow Pandoran Vault, you definitely should. He's Big Box Man on the Discord. He finds a lot of really interesting stuff. But yeah, he straightened these and edited them from this is one thing actually. They haven't released these in the proper highest quality, and I thought they would have done that very quickly after E23. So we only have the leaks.
I wonder why not.
Yeah, I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, maybe they've got
started their real marketing. Right?
Yeah.
This was just to be for the D23 attendees.
Yeah, it was probably just meant to be for the crowd, but obviously they didn't get told to put their cell phones away so that it got out everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously, so everyone's in agreement, like that this is Varang, played by Oana Chaplin, and that she's going to be this. So here's, I don't know if you guys saw this. Britton Dalton's dad, he tweeted about this and he described her as an evil fire queen. And I thought that was like an interesting way of describing her, because it would be interesting if we see a Na'vi clan that has a monarchy. You know,
well, she gives me cult leader vibes.
Yeah, I mean, it gave me Silent Hill vibes. Like,
I was like, with the characters in the background, yeah,
like the thing with the bag on the head,
just scary vibes.
You know,
this is the thing about the Na'vi that they're stereotyped for the last 15 years as being, you know, the noble savage and the high-minded and always taking the high road and never doing anything wrong.
Yeah,
we're about to see that inverted.
Does anyone, wait, I have a question. Does anyone, I don't know if I'm making this up in my brain, but I've had this headcanon for so long. Didn't they not have a word for lies?
Right.
Yeah, I remember
they
that too.
They don't have a word for.
I think that's in the first movie. They say that.
It was from a deleted scene.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Okay, that's why.
Yeah,
that's why. Yeah. So like, I've been thinking about that often. Of like, okay, so we've known that they don't even have like words for lies. Like, I am so curious to see, first of all, if they have their own language. Then this new clan, and if that's a whole other thing that they've brought in, like a whole other language or dialect or something. But then also like the words that they come up with and stuff. Like, I'm just that whole situation I'm kind of curious about too. So
are they like definitely disconnected from Ewa? Is that something we know?
We don't know this yet. We don't
know for sure, but it kind of seems that way.
The common observation is that she's got a whole bunch of cues attached to her head, and the rest of them don't.
Yeah.
So what does that tell you?
Because it's like a barren wasteland that you can see. Maybe they don't even have a tree of souls, you know. So they just maybe they might not want that connection, but it definitely seems like they don't even have it. So,
but it also means they don't have mounts, or like they don't have acorns, because how do you connect to it?
They may have a totally different method, like
maybe they have like harnesses. That would be interesting.
No, I feel like thematically from the movie, what they'll do is that if Jim wants these people to sort of represent humanity not being connected to nature or rejecting a connection to nature, then maybe they'll still have mounts, but they'll have them in the way that we have like horses, you know, where they have all these things where we basically dominate them instead of being like symbiotic with them.
I figured we'd see that from the RDA, like from the recoms, doing something very similar.
Yeah. I mean, if there's a sliver not shown on this one right now, but on like to the left of it, it looks like it could be Wainfleet riding some kind of like flying creature. It would be interesting if Wainfleet and Quaritch join this clan and end up having like that happen to them. Although I can't imagine that being the case.
They're not savage enough. They're going to be like, all right, we'll let you tag along for a little while.
I currently do think they will.
Yeah.
But
will they?
Because they might not pass the trials to be accepted, you know?
Because they have said that Quaritch is going to keep going more and more native in a way. Like, he'll keep adapting more and more to Pandora. But I'm like, well, you can't really think that he's going to do that and, you know, join them with the Metkaina or the Ametikaya. The way he can continue to go more and more native, yet still be in the antagonistic role, is to join with something like them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's where I can see him. Yeah,
he strikes me as the person who's always looking for an ultimate challenge. He wants to go on the ultimate safari, and this is like just the next step up on that. This is the next test. See if you can meet their level.
I feel like he would change his mind because he's becoming softer, you know.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's gonna.
I mean, it depends on which side.
I think them in general. I think they might have a, you know, it's possible they could even have some kind of redemption arc. Maybe once you learn, you know, their maybe tragic backstory, you know, and
if something caused them to be this way, then maybe they aren't. although again, if the fact that he says that Varang's going to be a character you love to hate, is he going to give us a pure evil character? Is that
right? Like, what does that mean?
Right. Because
what if there's some sort of logic behind their mentality that we kind of can empathize with, but we love to hate?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we kind of love to hate Quaritch at the moment, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So in that similar vein, like they'll be justified in their actions, like in their head, even though if maybe to to the most people looking in, you're like, yeah, but you shouldn't be doing that. But to them, it could just be like how it's the only way they know how to function.
Yeah,
I don't think she's going to have as much of a code as someone like Neytiri or an Ola Iktan. She's going to do things her own way.
Oh, I mean,
and she's going to lie and subvert. And,
well, yeah, she's
I mean, that could still be a code, though. If her code is like survival of the strongest, like might is right. Like I can imagine him having this character that where almost like like a captain. If we right, I always keep talking about like Moby Dick and like Captain Ahab, but we have Payakan and we have the whale, and seeing a character that's like almost not evil, but is just like single-mindedly on one topic of, say, like domination. Because it could be that if she's an evil queen, then she sort of says, you can't have a goddess that's Ewa because I am number one, Like, so you almost say to them, I am in charge. There's no one above me. I am your god. So, and that would yeah, exactly.
Right, exactly.
I could
like what, 7 of them there?
Doing that.
Next picture, I'm scared.
Before we leave this picture, I just want to say, like, you see the guy who's like here on the left hand side. That's me when I wake up.
Yeah.
I saw that. I was like, that's literally me.
They really did go. How they mentioned, we're gonna see the other side of the Na'vi, where you've just seen them as like peaceful and just the way right now. But they went further in the other direction than I even thought they would, and I love it. But really just seeing some of those design in the background, I'm like you said, Silent Hills, Resident Evil, like so they really went further in the other direction than I thought. But it's gonna be great.
Everyone remembers Temple of Doom when they throw the guy in the volcano.
Right. I feel like this is Jim going to be answering the people where those criticisms that he has like depicted like the noble savage. That and for people who don't know, noble savage is this trope in fiction where basically people and it comes from like I think a French philosopher where they basically said that people who were like in sort of quote unquote primitive societies, they lived in a very idealistic way where they never had problems, they didn't have wars, they didn't have all the issues we have today. But that just isn't true. When we know that basically every group and civilization that's ever existed has waged war in some kind. I don't think that there's ever been
look at the first movie. Like they obviously do war before. They're putting the war paint right on. They were ready for that at the end of the movie.
And also they unite the clans, which immediately assumes that they're divided, right? Then he has to go around and become the leader. So it would be interesting how much he delves into.
I don't think they're as peaceful as like they're letting on.
No. So it'd be interesting. It will be how deep into that will he go? Because there's things like I saw him talking. James Cameron was talking about Native Americans and how like the wars that they were waging, and there's some really interesting books about I think the Cherokee, like this. I read a book like called Empire of the Summer Moon, and about like some of the wars that were waged there and how brutal they were and things like scalping. Right. And so if he goes down that route to show that, like, I mean, he might be pushing. I mean, it'd be interesting to see what the age rating is and if he's really going to go like that far, because if he's showing people cutting bits off, that's going to potentially.
I thought the scalping as well when I heard about the Kulu theory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
honestly,
it'll be interesting.
That could be what's needed to happen in a way to also bring that extra grit that we were like talking about earlier.
Yeah.
To this film.
Old-fashioned Jim Cameron.
Right. Yeah. Like bring it back. Like let's just do it. I think we got Avatar, the OG. We got that beautiful, family-friendly,
pristine,
film, but like let's bring it. Let's go crazy on this one, honestly.
Well, because of that, the stakes are really high as well, because you have something to lose.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. The next piece of concept art, which isn't as dark and is shows familiar faces, and actually, I don't know. Like, did anyone else like think that these look like the Venture Star?
Yes, yeah, I don't see it.
Like, are they based on it? Do you think, or there's obviously some kind of creature pulling them along?
It's an interesting parallel because the Venture Stars, they're the same way. There's a tractor unit and a long beam, and then whatever cargo you have. And this looks like it's the same. You got the tensile structure in the middle, and on the right you got like big cargo thing, and on the left it looks like it's swimming in the air. That's the exact same layout.
Daily showing the ISV Venture Star there, yeah. So I saw someone in the Avatar Discord server talking about how they thought that maybe the air, what are they called? The wind traders? Is that what they're called? Wind traders? Is that what we're assuming they're going to be called? That they're going to be based on like some European group, because I can't remember the logic, but it was that whichever group invented hot air balloons, was it French? Was that the French?
I think it was the French.
Right. So maybe I think someone was saying maybe the wind traders are going to be based on the French.
Well,
oh my god!
We'll see.
I think that would be hilarious. I would love that. That would be great.
They know who Flea is? Is that what you're saying?
Maybe.
I mean,
maybe.
Avatar is very popular in France, so it would
It
make
is.
sense if you're going to do fan service.
Yeah. What else? Discovering Pandora. I feel like, come on, man. I want to know your views on this. Like, what do you feel about this piece?
It blew my, like, initially seeing, you know, the pictures first come out, I was just seeing the foreground. Once I started to have the time to analyze, and I was like, wait a minute, you know, I really saw what was going on in the background, because the first picture I saw was the other one, the one in the daytime, and you're kind of seeing this vehicle, but literally shot from the front. You still see the creature in the front, pulling the other one, but that's after you see this one. You go to the other picture, you're like, okay, so that you do see it there at the very front. You see that?
You're talking
like
about
towards
this
the
one,
middle.
Oh yeah, this thing.
Yeah, so that's the one I saw first. And then I was like, okay, you see the ropes, and it's like, okay, is there, you know, you're like, is it sails? Obviously, it just looks like like a ship. But then you go to the other one, and I'm like, wait, it just blew my mind. Like, you have this, they basically got two creatures in order for them to devise a way for them to just, you know, travel most likely very long distances to get all around Pandora. And I just thought it was genius. I'm like, you have this one creature in the front, you know, tethered to this vehicle-like thing they get, and yet you can't just have that. You need to have this huge one in the back that's kind of floating in order to keep that vehicle thing afloat. So it just blew my mind, and I'm like, we're about to see stuff in this movie that is just going to trump, you know, even things before that we thought were already kind of like mind-blowing.
Yeah. And I bet
even more symbiotic relationships.
Yeah.
I do have to ask you guys a quick little question here. I did a recent video. If you on this picture right here, you see that the three flying creatures on to the left of it, the one at the top, clearly an Ekron. Am I crazy? I even asked this in my video. That was the title. Do the two on the below it look like the silhouettes of storm gliders from Frontiers of Pandora, and not an Ekron?
Right. The wings.
The wings are, the wingspan is a lot long. Like, compared to the one at the top, they're more arched. You know, you don't clearly see the two little underwings that you do always see on the Ekron. I mean, I could be completely crazy.
No, I think,
but they look like,
especially the left.
Agree.
And I brought up a picture of a storm glider. The silhouette matches even almost the one they show on Pandorapedia. I was like, and then I started to read the bio of the storm glider, because I started to just put that tin hat on, and I was like, wait a minute. Even John Landau himself said that elements from Frontiers were gonna show up in these sequels. Doesn't necessarily mean they were talking specifically about the lands, which we could just get a glimpse of like in our travels in these movies. But what if it's like this creature where in Frontiers it's the most feared creature? Like, we can be out there, you can't tame it. For some reason, if it just sees you, it comes down and kills you. So it gives you this mentality, like in your head, you're like, this is already an amazing, just terrifying creature. To then go into this movie and see that the Wind Trader clan is able to tame them will blow your mind. You'll be like, what? You know, and in their bio, they state that they're built for long, sustained flights at high altitudes. So for me, I was just connecting a lot of dots. I could be completely wrong, but I was like,
yeah,
they will have the storm gliders and in that one concept art piece of Varong flying that other one, I was like, that looks like the meaner cousin of a storm glider. I was like, each of them will have an awesome, badass, you know, new mount. That's not just the Ekrons we know from the past, but I could be wrong.
It's like a stingbat as well, the other one with the horn on its head.
Yeah. I'm gonna put my vote in. I think the Ekrons. I'm looking closely at it, and I think just the size differences, and like I can see the little like chin, that big chin on that bottom right one and stuff. I love that idea though. If we can see a storm glider,
yeah, that one right there.
That'd be sick.
Oh, we could all be wrong, but it's fun to you know, to theorize and be like, man, am I spotting something days later that I didn't catch before? You know what I mean? It's just awesome.
Maybe Avatar guy can zoom in and enhance. I don't know.
I don't know if I can enhance.
Yeah, pull the
cord. I can zoom in.
Zoom enhance.
Actually, useful. That's actually quite useful.
I think it actually might be a storm glider because look at the smaller wings that they have.
Yeah, that does. This is convincing me even more, and it just kind of jumbles it because there's two of them, but especially the one on the left, it really does look like a storm glider to me.
I think I'm with you. I think
chat, help us out. What do you think?
Yeah, I was going to say everyone should comment. What do you think they are? But I feel like they are because they also did repeatedly say that there were going to be elements in Frontiers that were going to appear in the movies, you know, and it feels like that would be a really nice payoff.
Yeah,
like that would be really And also,
we've been spending all our time fearing it in Frontiers, and now we're gonna be like, what? Like those creatures, you're able to tame them? That would be awesome.
Also, as if they would attack the creatures that are like the air balloon creatures. I wonder if they would attack those.
Oh, it'd be cool to see because we could see Ikran actually fighting something. So that could be an amazing sequence if Ikran have a fight against something else in the air. That would be really cool.
Exactly. Because that's the other thing in the bio that I do state in my video. I'm like, if they don't tame them and they just come across them, you know, at the high altitudes, the bio also states that if you come across a pair of storm gliders, that's two right there, that's literally one of the most dangerous encounters you can have out in the Pandora wilderness. So I'm like, either they're confronting them here and you're going to see some type of aerial battle, or they manage to tame them. Either one is awesome.
The expert storm glider hunters because they have to defend against them. I also wanted to say to Avatar guy, this is a deep cut, and I've mentioned it to you before, but for all the Jim fans out there, way back when he wrote a script called Wind Warriors back in the 80s, and it was never published as far as I know, but it was talked about in the.
I don't think it's ever available anywhere.
With the one writer who sued Jim over the similarities in Avatar. And just reading through the premise of Wind Warriors, this Wind Trader tribe sounds so much like that script. He's picking elements of all the old scripts. He didn't actually end up pulling them into Avatar.
One thing that I was thinking as well, I mean, actually, to Anamnesis' point, these also, I think you guys have all seen it, that Jim also showed the Medusas that he drew in the 70s that look very much like these. Yeah. You know, that he's already done a design that's very similar to this. But the thing that struck me most was that it almost seems to me that the two new clans could represent two completely new aspects of Na'vi that we haven't been shown yet. Of the Ash tribe being more violent, more warlike, but these ones seem more technological. Because, like, you know, you see all the kind of I don't know what that's called, you know, like on a yacht, but that rope and the pulleys and things like that. The rigging, that's way more technological than anything.
Also, I don't know, man. I don't know. The Metcaina, they're really good weavers. Have you seen like their houses?
Yeah, that's true. But I don't know. This seems like a step. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm being weird, but I don't know. Having flying machines, you know.
But it's not a machine.
I get what you're saying.
It's an animal that they tame. But still, there's something like the tradecraft of knowing the winds, and it's different. But that's not a vehicle. That's an animal. Or maybe it's a plant, or like.
It's a combination.
I don't know.
I think the
still seems to
ingenuity
me-
itself to even think of this, like the ingenuity is probably what you're getting at. Like they just seem a little more cunning to really come up with thinking like, hey, because you got to think they'll have to somehow control the creature in the front, right? You can't just be like, yeah, Jesus, take the wheel, you know, take me wherever you want to take me. You know, if we go back to the other picture, you also see like a tiny little blip on top of it. So I'm like, oh, I wonder if it's gonna have a rider. And then it's like it makes sense. You have to have somebody steering the ship.
I mean,
but
you
yeah,
also see
them
what seems to
just
be
thinking
fire
like on
inside.
the. You see
You
that
can
one?
see
on
the
the
rider.
Oh yeah, you see
You can
it.
see the rider.
You
right
see
there.
the little tiny,
Little
I mean,
yeah.
it could be nothing, but yeah, the ingenuity to think of this just struck me. Like they are thinking maybe, like you said, a little step above, you know, most of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
they're not
seems like a
just
level of
riding the animal;
complexity.
they're
Right.
rigging.
Yeah.
no,
Avatar
yeah,
guy, don't you
rigging.
have the pictures from Tech Noir of Jim's paintings of the old jellyfish in the sky?
I
should have
do,
had
but
those
I don't
ready.
know. Yeah, I should have had those ready. I'm ill prepared.
We saw
But-
them in
but-
Paris at the James
but-
Cameron Expo.
Yeah, we saw it. Yeah, in real life. But what what gives me that impression more than anything is how much they do resemble Adventure Star.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's Bailey showing it on the screen there. The Medusa.
And you also see like the manta ray type creatures there too, not just the jellyfish. So he really was like elements from this picture. It's like you're like, oh yeah, those right there. So that's the
Bailey
front
should host the
creature
show.
right there too.
I mean, it goes right. Look at this. Right, think about the Venture Star. You've got the living thing that seems to be at the front, which is where the people are, right?
Yeah.
And you've got the thing that propels it. Also
No,
in
that's the
Venture
other
Star
way
is that.
around.
Flip it.
Is
Flip
it?
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the-
flip it.
Sorry,
the
Flip it and
engines are
reverse
at
it.
the front
Right.
and the
But
payload at the
I'm still
back.
saying there's the living piece in one bit, and then there's the thing that's powering it at the other, which
No,
doesn't-
that's
which
the
seems
other
to
way.
be. No, but are
I'm
you
having
sure?
such a hard
No,
time
this one
making
is
out.
pulling. The smaller one is pulling,
Yeah,
and the big one is floating.
Yeah.
Then what is this? Well, why is there a fire inside it?
Because
I think
people are
that's just
living
them.
there.
That should just, you know,
They're
that's
cooking.
you know,
They're staying
they need
warm.
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I thought the
Yeah,
fire
let
was
them
like a
cook,
balloon.
Avatar
Let
guy.
them
Let them
cook.
I thought the fire was the thing that's making it.
I don't want to
making
see
it fire.
fire. I don't want
Yeah.
to see
And
living
then where's the
environment. What are you
ash then?
talking about?
Well, what do you think this is? Is that? Do we think that's like? Look at this as well. I don't know. Is that
Well,
Nikran?
that's either a
Maybe.
predator or an escort.
Hmm.
No, that's an escort. I think there's a rider on it, right?
Yeah. And then let's keep going to the others. So actually, someone said in the chat that they keep saying these are concept arts. These are concept arts. But actually, if you go and check out the concept art for A2, they're all really similar to what we see on the final screen. I don't expect that we'll actually see a huge variance between this and the final movie. It'll look better, yeah.
And yeah, of course, things are always subject to change, and sometimes maybe something in the background is just kind of like a placeholder silhouette. I've stated that in my video as well, but I mean, I just, you know, I like when we do this, like just kind of theorize or, you know, think we spot something. It's just fun, you know, it makes the wait just feel that less, you know, long in a way.
Mhm.
Well, so
I've got one then. Are these is this wind tribe looking a bit angelic and the ash tribe looking a bit, you know, demonic? I'm getting sort of heaven versus hell.
Totally.
But
yeah, that would be cool. Especially if they're historic enemies.
And they could be, because if you look at their environments, they have, because it hasn't been 100% confirmed, but I think that the new desert region might be the home base for the Wind Traders. I'm assuming.
Right.
So they both can be coming from like kind of barren landscapes, except, you know, one just really has taken it in a completely, you know, more sadistic way, but they could be very similar at the same time. If the desert region is the home base for the Wind Traders, they're just like, that's why I leave home all the time, dude. I ain't there.
I mean, obviously as well, this isn't an Ikran.
No.
I also wanted to comment too that
but-
the stance that the Navi in general take about using human weapons is not one that they're following, because there's several riders there with machine guns.
Yeah, you see them.
Yeah, and pretty much all of them, if you really look, even if the two panels that were missing here on the sides that they had there, you really see, you know, they have like RPGs, you know, the assault rifles. They're like, we don't care. The laws of AWA, we don't care about those laws.
That's an effective weapon. I'm gonna use it.
I think that the one on the left is Wainfleet, and I think that this dude down here is Quaritch. I think that's
There you go. There's the side panel. Brahmin is putting it up. You see that that one has like an RPG right there.
Yeah.
He's got a rocket.
How do you know it's Quaritch?
Yeah, I think it's Quaritch.
How do you know?
I don't know. Just the shape.
Okay.
I think that top shape is Quaritch. That one.
Yeah, like that one could be Quaritch.
This one here.
No, that one.
Yeah, that one is Quaritch.
And then I got a spoiler for you guys. With the RPG could be like Wainfleet or something.
It's the same drawing. It's just copy and pasted like 3 times.
So true.
Oh yeah, it's the same. It's
concept art technique.
It's just concept art, guys.
They're all, or we've just discovered a huge thing, and actually there's multiple Quaritches because we know that. Oh god,
like Dragon, let's put on 2 tinfoil hats at the same time.
The original guy was actually a clone, and the real Quaritch we still haven't even seen yet.
Oh. Yeah, that would be.
What do you guys think about this creature? This creature is awesome.
Well, is it
really
like,
gnarly.
Is she going to be the evil Turuk Makto?
Right?
If she was the
and Turuk needs to come into play again at some point, right? Because if you really think about it, at the end of the first movie, it was like basically he sent it away because the time of the Great Sorrow had ended. But now we've kind of retconned that a little bit. Now all this that we're witnessing in the sequels is now, I think one of the comics confirmed, I think the high ground, that this whole time is now going to be referenced as the time of Great Sorrow. Right. So you got to bring that bad boy back at some point, because he'd be like, hey, we're not done. we ain't done yet. We retconned the first one. Come on.
I can imagine a scene like a Phoenix type of scene when the hope is lost and then somehow the comes back.
I think that's what this whole movie is going to be, Robin.
It's going to be a great return.
Yeah.
Or Great Leonopteryx.
I feel like...
Okay, 1%.
I was going to say, you know the point about the Phoenix? Because they have Project Phoenix, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that could be something that we see like more of, in the sense of, if he's called it Fire and Ash, and the movie's got a lot of things like rebirth and the very fact that so many people are reborn, and Jim did talk about, you know, that what is fire and then what is ash, that if there is something like that, like maybe he's going to lean into the more of the Phoenix elements. What do we think? Am I just being crazy?
No, I
don't think you're crazy, because I think people get that vibe even just from that the flamed A
literally
behind it. You know, it looks like a flaming phoenix right there. Obviously, we've seen that silhouette before, but when you see it that way, your mind goes like, oh, that, you think of a phoenix. So, and like you said, that's the cycle of the phoenix: fire and then ash, and then it rebirth from there.
And I've used this metaphor before. It's not like some big mystery. This is like the middle. It's not a trilogy, obviously. It's going to be 5 or more movies, and this is the middle of that story. If you look at similar trilogies like Empire Strikes Back, it ends in the middle with the heroes on a bad footing, and you don't know where it's going to go next. I feel like, this could go a similar way.
Do you guys agree that this one might end on a bad? Because I've brought that up before too. The comparison. This should probably be the Empire Strikes Back. Right. To the saga, like it might end, not the way we've seen the last 2 kind of end. Yes, there was the loss of Netayam, but at the end it was still kind of, you had that victory over the Quaritch's little,
like a hopeful
sea dragon, like a hopeful note. There has to be a point where we maybe don't end on a hopeful note for once, and this would be the chapter to do it,
And that's something I've wanted to see. I don't just want to see the Na'vi win every single time. I want to see them push back on their heels and like, wow, is this going to end? Is this going to end badly for everybody or what?
Do you think though, if he ends it in a dark way, that's 4 years we're going to have to sit there thinking about something really
I think dark, but
that could be good though,
Yeah. Especially if I don't like if the fire clan win, and they just eradicate the RDA.
I mean, Jim's threatening. They're making all these I don't want to say threatening, but like dark statements about where this is headed. Like you're not going to be super happy coming out of this.
Yeah.
That's good.
Basically, like what he said, the ash represents to him is the aftermath of what fire represents to him. Like basically your actions, and then the ash is the consequence. Mm-hmm. So, and he talked about in another recent interview that it kind of represents to him like the cycle of violence. And so it could be, think of it in a way. I thought, okay, cycle of violence. I went to The Last of Us Part 2, where it's just like at some point you have to break the cycle, because it's like this character dies, so you go out for revenge, i.e. Neytiri, Jake, they could be in a darker mode in this movie. You do some actions that will now lead, like he's saying, to even more grief and more consequences to your actions. When does that cycle end? So you're gonna probably see more loss before we see them, snap back.
And it's about the children paying for the sins of their parents.
Right.
Yeah.
It has to end with them. It has to end with Loak and Kiri putting an end to that cycle, right?
And also Kiri is like Atokirina, she's like the seed, right? Ash is really fertile for seeds to grow.
Lots of carbon. Where's the nitrogen?
That's true. Yeah, and the theorized original. Remember, the theorized original title was The Seed Bearer.
Exactly.
Like,
oh my God.
Any indication, as to what the movie's going to be about? I mean, it could be that Kiri.
They're going to bury Kiri in the ground. She's going to turn into a tree.
That's my theory.
Maybe she kind of maybe she's able to restore something for the Ash Clan eventually, that then will materialize even further by, as they've revealed themselves. When we do go to Earth farther along, she's able to basically restore Mother Earth.
That's
on
what I'm
Earth.
thinking.
Like it'll start small scale here, and then it'll just get blown up even further. Because obviously, I mean, we've kind of had this whole thing kind of spoiled in the way. Right now, they're like, oh, we got to come colonize here because our Earth is dying. There's going to be no more Earth. Yet we've known from the Pandora, the world of Avatar, that's set generations later, Earth is still there. We're now just coming to Pandora just to kind of help them rebuild. So we do know Earth survives. How does that happen?
But how?
And like you said, I think Kiri has a lot to do with it, and their eventual travels to Earth.
I'm not sure Kiri will be in Avatar 4.
Why not?
Personally.
I don't think she'll be. I think she'll die. I think Sigourney Weaver will be, but I don't think I'm with Ashen. I don't think Kiri's going to be there.
Playing Grace in Avatar 4?
I don't know what she'll be playing.
Kiri?
Wait, what?
I'm not sure. Because I
don't
think,
agree.
I mean,
No.
it's right. Before we get into this argument, by the way, I wanted to tell everyone in the chat, remember to like the stream. Lee, you didn't remind me. We're out of practice. Everyone like the stream, and if you're watching it through Discovering Pandora's X account, reshare as well, and like his stream if you're watching it through that.
Yeah, like it now because it's about to go downhill. Because Kiri's gonna die. So
yeah,
well, not yet.
Well,
actually, maybe we should just change topic because I don't really want to say what I want to say now.
What? No, why not?
Now I'm more curious.
I know.
Is this to do with the Sigourney Weaver interview?
I want to hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your theory? Yeah.
Go. No, actually, tell them.
Well, she kind of slipped up in an interview that she wasn't playing Kiri anymore.
Oh, really?
Recently.
Oh, really?
No, not recently. So, do you want me to tell them, Ashen, or do you want to keep going?
It's too late now, isn't it? You tell them.
Right. So
spill it out.
Right. No. So, she didn't say that she wasn't playing Kiri. She didn't say that. She didn't explicitly state it. But she basically said that her character that she was playing transforms, like
metamorphosis or something.
Yeah, metamorphosis. Yeah, there's a significant transformation of her character throughout the movies, right? And I think, and Ashen and I saw this, and then we sort of talked more over time, that it makes sense also from a casting level, because if she was going to only be Kiri, I don't think he would have cast Sigourney Weaver. I feel like he would have cast just a young girl that looked like her.
Right.
It feels like he has some greater use for her as an actress to be some extra greater thing. And so in this interview, it was at like I think like some kind of some modeling or fashion thing in Europe, and she sort of said, my character transforms quite a lot, and there's going to be a lot of things. Now, she could have been talking about the fact that her character is a transformation because she's not actually playing herself. She's playing herself as a young person. I think that's one way of interpreting it. But Ashton and I think being cynics, we think.
Oh no, I think you're onto something. It's actually interesting. I really think you're onto something where, in the later movies, maybe like you said, there's some kind of metamorphosis. Obviously, not just the simple time jump. Well, there is going to be the time jump too, the 6 years, and then we don't even know how much further in 5. So it could be that kind of solves the whole, her now playing an older character because there's time jumps. But maybe in general, like you're saying, there is something where, and maybe it still is Kiri, but maybe it's not the way you think of Kiri now. It's kind of like Paul Atreides, where he's not the same at later on than he was in the beginning. In a way, he's now Muad'Dib. It's a completely enlightened, a different being in a way.
Right.
So, I do think she's going to be some sort of messiah, though.
Yeah.
This is probably not the right place for me to get into ancient Gnosticism and the story of Sophia, but I'm sure you know what it is, Avatar guy, because you're a student of philosophy. But for anyone wondering, look up what Sophia is or was way back when in ancient Christian Gnosticism. Basically like female Jesus, the female counterpart to Jesus. That's what Kiri is.
And in the Writers' Roundtable that he did, who were the couple that write Avatar? The ones that wrote Planet of the Apes. I've forgotten their names. The writers for 2 and 3. They talk about
Amanda Silver and
Amanda Silver. Yeah, exactly. They talk about that. They sort of made a joke. They went, we didn't intend to make Kiri Avatar Jesus. They openly say that. Yeah. So like the very fact that they said that was, to me, I was like, oh my god, again, because I don't know, from the very first day that they talked about Sigourney being Kiri, I was like, why would he do that? Like, he's not just done it to prove to everyone that he can make an old actress look young. It feels to me like if Jim's going to do anything like that, he always has a narrative purpose for doing it. And like my kind of gut is telling me that Kiri's going to become some kind of avatar of Ewa. That's
definitely.
Definitely.
It won't look like Kiri.
I think those seeds are already planted in the Way of Water if people are really looking. I mean, you barely scratch the surface of what this character is going to be able to even do. And maybe there's a reason why we still have seen Sigourney, basically Grace's avatar body that we knew from the first movie. Maybe there is a trend, some kind of change that does happen where maybe that version comes back and now that's the older. Or I don't know. I don't know. Maybe something happens.
I think they're going to find a way to plug her back in and find Grace inside of Ewa.
Yes, I agree.
Through some other method. I don't know whether it will be natural or technological, or maybe a fusion.
Rediscover
Grace.
Oh, interesting.
Grace's body is surely going to come into it.
I mean, it's not there for no reason.
Right. Yeah. Of course.
Welcome to the party.
Yeah. It's going to be the power.
So I was talking and you were nodding, but not understanding anything I was saying. Thank you so much.
Sorry. Yeah. Oh my God. No, sorry. No, it's because sorry. It's because
no worries.
I hadn't even. Sorry, you were blowing my mind.
Like the light bulb.
I was processing it and being like.
You guys saw it live. Yeah.
we all cried at the scene where Kiri hugs Siggy in Avatar 2. She's gonna do it for real in Avatar 3 or maybe 4.
Right.
It's gonna be the power loader. Gracie's avatar is gonna be the power loader of Avatar 3.
Get away from her, you.
Way, but it's gonna
isn't
be
Grace's
like
avatar like much taller than the other avatars? Well, maybe not much, but a few feet taller.
I don't know.
She was an early prototype. And
I know that she has the more human nose because she was.
Yeah.
She's an early. Oh, okay. God, yeah, you've blown my mind there. Like, really, that's. I don't know what to say.
That's the worst.
My
price of admission alone.
Yeah, Kiri is. You've expanded my my theories completely. That Kiri.
It's Chekhov's
and you thought
avatar,
I was just gonna make fun of it. No, I'm here for you, man.
No,
trust me. I'm the one that always has wild theories, and I'm like, people, please don't crucify me because everybody just attacks you right away. No, don't worry, man.
doesn't show you something unless he intends to show it in a final act later on.
It was
It's all
very
about setup
purposeful
and
that we see
callback.
that. Yep.
Yeah. So it's okay. So new theory is Kiri dies and they're like, oh, she's dying. We have to get Grace. Let's try and do a transfer.
Something like that could happen. Yeah.
That would bring it full circle as well.
Yep.
They did it with Jake's avatar because it belonged to his brother, and they transferred him.
I think that might happen to Spider as well.
Yeah.
My gut feeling is he's gonna die in 3.
I thought that would happen in 2.
By the hand of Neytiri, I think.
Oh boy.
Oh god.
Yeah.
That's some ash right there. That's some ash.
That's hot take. That's a really.
Because they were talking about living with the consequences of your actions, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I mean by ash. I think you're onto something. Because it's literally what Jim was talking about for Ash. It could be that, yeah. Because we saw pictures of him in the tank, right? As an avatar, I think.
It's gonna end up in a state where everyone's killed everyone, but also everyone's back to life.
Everybody comes back. Everybody's a Phoenix.
No one can die.
Except Trudy.
She's not coming back.
Please feel sad about that.
So I feel like we should get close to wrapping it up, because we've been going for an hour and 10 minutes. So even though I love this and I actually feel like we should do this more, I think it's great. We definitely should do this more in the future. But what does everyone think? So recently Jim said that they re-edited the movie to make sure that everyone cries when they see it. I wondered what everyone said. Everyone thought about that. So there was an interview with Jim, and he was saying that every single one of these movies, he says, aims to basically make you cry. He said that if it doesn't make you cry, they haven't. Okay. He knows that it's not.
Who are they basing the emotion off of here?
James Cameron himself.
Well, bro, he wrote this whole thing. If my guy, we're gonna be seeing this all for the first time. Obviously, there's gonna be a tear too.
Yeah.
What more are they adding?
But yeah, and that's what I thought, because I mean, with the net, honestly, when Netiam died, I didn't feel that attached to his character. But when he was in the movie at the end, I was sobbing.
Oh,
it's
those choking cries.
Yeah,
you have the hiccups. You're
yeah,
and then
the
again at the funeral.
Nah, he's not gonna do it, and he does.
It's the same with Titanic, right? So the very, very last scene of Titanic, where she's walking through the ship and Jack's there in the afterlife, that gets me every time. I'm fully tear up at that, every single time. It could be something. I mean, if they killed I don't think they're going to kill Neytiri, but could you imagine? Because that's the sort of thing, is that now we know that within Ewa that there is these memories. Any character that does die and Netiam's welcoming them, that's definitely going to send people I
think it definitely will be Jake before Neytiri.
Yeah,
I agree,
because they kind of said Neytiri's gonna go to Earth, so we know she's not gonna die in 3, because we're probably not gonna get to Earth until 4 or 5. But maybe Jake, which is maybe why you're getting a different protagonist voicing.
Yeah,
I think that's the hint already of why it won't be him. And they said with every subsequent movie, it'll be a new character that you're now hearing the voiceover of. And why? Maybe because he won't, make it out of 3.
Wait, say that again. So Anamnesis, say that again. What was?
No, I agree with discovering Pandora. I don't think Jake's going to make it through the whole way, or at least not in the way we think. You think he's going to survive the whole franchise?
So the reason for that, is that when we had that talk with Jim for Empire Magazine before Avatar 2 came out, one of the things he said in that, and I think there's a podcast on Empire Magazine's website, so you can go and check it for yourself. One of the things he said was, he basically made a comment saying that this is a saga about Jake and Neytiri. He said this is about Jake and Neytiri and their story. And the way that he said it made me feel like it was, but if Jake dies, I'm fully on Neytiri's side, kill every human,
But I don't think it really
go crazy.
Even if it's their story, I don't think it means they have to survive till the last movie. It's still their legacy, their children and everything. That's still their story still carries on through them. So. Because I don't think he would have really, done a spoiler like that. Oh, don't worry, the two of them will at least survive. They can kill the kids, but they'll make it.
Also, I have like the worst. Sorry, someone else talk. Sorry, Ash, and go.
Sorry, I was just saying that we know Quaritch is going to be in all the movies already from Jim's early interviews, and I don't know if Quaritch exists. I feel like Jake has to, and Nateri, or at least one of them.
But they're also kind of the two sides
right?
to the same coin. Do you need both coins? Because
Think
that
so,
could
yeah.
be the arc. That could be the arc of Quaritch. Is
he takes Jake's father role.
He towards the end, he can be the one that takes the.
Yes.
That would be the.
I'm telling you, man. We almost have to think about the unexpected.
Oh my
God! I've been trying to say.
And he's gonna go through this redemption arc by the last movie, and he'll be there for all of them, man.
I save the Sully kids, yeah. That would be good, actually. I
was gonna say my most insane theory, I think is less insane than that, was that Jake dies and they use Tom Sully's like DNA to bring Jake back.
No, that's more insane.
That'd be so
you really
bitter.
think? Because imagine if they put Tom Sully, like Tom Sully came back as a recon and he was out there fighting them. Like that, and that's a massive Jim thing to do, right? Remember, he wanted to do the entire inverse for Terminator. That he wanted his original plan was that the T-1000 in Terminator 2 was going to look like Kyle Reese.
Mm-hmm.
I just think I don't want people to keep coming back or us to keep finding ways to bring characters back. We do need like some to just stay dead.
Yeah,
and
also, wait, logistically, the recons, you needed to take the time to plug out their memories prior to then throwing it back in. I doubt they.
But I'm not saying it has Jake's memories. I'm saying that it could be that they've grown it using DNA they had on file, where it's almost a blank. That it's got the
Wait,
just,
what? What's the benefit of what's the benefit of using Jake Sully's Tom Sully?
It demoralizes the Na'vi.
But it's a bit of a confusing plot point just to do that.
It could only serve, maybe I would see Quaritch, where at the end you would see like Quaritch is kind of like maybe finally torn on having to fight this version that is not Jake anymore. It's just a villainous version. And then it kind of like you could see an emotional toll that it could take on Quaritch to do it, and it could fulfill that arc. I mean, that's the only way I could see it have any type of benefit. But I mean, that would still be kind of cool. But
I like it.
It could feed into.
You were like, we can roll with it. We can
like that would be. I think that would be absolutely an insane, a really truly insane thing that no one would expect is if Quaritch was sort of quote unquote redeemed, ended up joining the Sully side after the death of Jake, and then they still have something that looks like Jake fighting against him. That would be the original.
Well,
that would be the original T2 plan, but on a massive scale.
I think it's time for you to hop on Wattpad. I should be time. It's a great idea.
I've said this before probably, but all you have to do is, like Avatar guy says, look at Terminator. By the end of the first film, Arnold Schwarzenegger had you scared out of your mind in that factory, right?
Yeah.
Could you have ever imagined that by the end of the sequel, you'd be crying at the end of the film over the same actor? Right? Total inversion.
That's why I do think we are gonna see by the end, even if it takes all the way till 5, a redemption arc for Quaritch and have a full 180 turn. It takes you a while to get there, but he will get there.
I think Jim said that Quaritch is this series Darth Vader, right? So
yeah.
Yeah,
and he also got redeemed by the very end, right before his death.
Yeah,
too,
exactly.
Because of the son, and I mean, you already gave him a son, and they both kind of share him right now. Like literally, that's where we're starting. This is the Spider saved Quaritch. Jake doesn't even really know that Spider saved Quaritch, so they're already both of them are right now going to have this a kind of thing that connects them. Not just their animosity towards each other, but they're going to literally have the Spider in the middle of it, and what is that?
Do you guys remember the movie Hook with Robert Williams?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the whole premise was the two men fighting over the heart of the one son, and which way is he going to go? Very similar idea.
Yeah. We've got your number, Jim. We've got you.
We figured it all out.
It's just hook in space.
Just took us an hour and 20 minutes.
Hook in space. In Hook in space.
And nobody even liked that movie. They thought it was a failure. I thought it was okay.
I was gonna say right before we finish, right? Everyone who wants to say where you can find them, everyone should say it. Like, I need to be the good host. So Bailey, you go first.
Wait, what am I doing?
So you just tell everyone about your Instagram and you promote yourself.
Oh, check me out. I guess that's my name.
Oh, honestly, her becoming Navi stuff is amazing and
true. Okay, so at the beginning, I did a quick little introduction. Long story short, I am an artist and I make myself blue. I make other people blue. It's a really great time and it's photorealistic and there's no AI. There's no AI, everyone. Keep that in mind. Yeah, it's a great time over there. Like I said earlier, I'm primarily on Instagram. Honestly, I've been popping off on Pinterest. That's kind of fun. And I'm trying the other realms. I'm trying TikTok. I'm learning. Bear with me. I don't know videos, but I would love to learn videos. Thank you very much.
Robin?
She'll get there. Her arc is going to take a while.
Yeah, we'll get there for sure.
I make all types of Avatar content, and you can find me pretty much everywhere as Avatar Robin. Yeah. Nice and simple.
Avatar Robin. And obviously Discovering Pandora? For the people who
find me as well, here on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, just at Discovering Pandora.
Yeah. I hope everyone follows all of the because I mean everyone of us here knows how amazing all the artists and creators are. Like I think that we have for the fan group that we have. I mean I don't interact with that many others, but it does seem like we have some kind of a special sauce. When it comes to like fandoms and the things that people create. I mean obviously I'm biased, but it does feel like it feels to me like we genuinely do. I don't know, and I see comments from people from other fandoms that talk quite positively about I think the Avatar fandom in general because
it really is. I mean, look at other fandoms right now.
Right? Yeah. We haven't. I mean, that just pray that Disney never makes spin-offs or anything like that.
We still don't have an Ash clan between us.
Right. Exactly.
We're still the Navi from the first movie, as of now.
Just don't get Ryan Johnson to do Avatar 4. That's
God. I don't want to think about it.
God.
Yeah, but the shout outs me is everyone. Thanks to everyone who's commented, everyone that's liked the stream on wherever you're watching it from. Thanks to everyone for joining. Honestly, thank you all so much.
Thanks for having us.
It means the world to me.
Yeah,
like I said, I feel like we should do more things like this. Like maybe we can do another one in December, to celebrate 2 years of release of the second movie and
definitely
the next movie. Happy birthday to DJ who was in the chat. I don't know if he's still there. Happy birthday, Avatar Day as well. Thank you to everyone in the Based and Robust Network. Thanks to all the people on Discord. A special thanks to Pandoran Vault. Follow him on Twitter. He's really good. He pulls out a lot of cool stuff as well. And also thanks to my other half, Ashen One, who is the other half of Avatar Guys. I'm Avatar Guy, but he's also Avatar Guy. We've got Animanesis, who's if you don't see him on an Avatar video, then the video is probably not that great. If he's not commenting, then and obviously Clee, who keeps I think or tries to keep us sane. So thanks everyone. Yeah, really good. Yeah, thanks, and we look forward to the next Avatar Day.
Bye guys.